So, is it just me? Or did I not just come on here yesterday and lay all this shit out? Is it just me? Did I not just come on here? Like, unfucking believable, right? But not really. See, people think this shit is a game. People think this shit is a game. You think it's a coincidence? You think it's a coincidence I just came up here yesterday and laid this shit out, and then the next fucking day, another Empire artist is gone? You think it's a fucking coincidence? It's just me though, right? See, motherfuckers don't be understanding. I'm really tapped in, but I just don't brag about this shit. I don't want no credit for this shit. There is no coincidence. We just started fall season. We just started the season of death. 2 days after the fall season, someone's gone. Soon as fall is coming in, I'm getting tormented in my dreams. But it's all just a coincidence, right? I'm just running my mouth. Right? I'm just running my mouth, dude, right? Yeah, we'll let the public believe that. Everybody except 93. If you are 93, then you already know the deal. You already know what this shit is about. So when I say y'all, I'm not speaking about 93. I'm speaking about everybody else who just be in the background and shit, right? Who just laughing. When rappers die, all they do is fucking laugh and eat their fucking popcorn. They don't realize how the culture is being killed off. This is a fucking joke to them. They don't feel nothing when they see these artists dead. They can give a fuck. They just went on about their day like it doesn't affect them whatsoever, because honestly, it doesn't. But the people who are actually affected outside of the family, of course, we have to tolerate this. We have to deal with all this continual death, because this really has an effect on the culture. This is bigger than just what goes on the day-to-day level. This is magic. This is more than just gunshots. This is more than just people flashing money. This is magic right in front of your eyes, but you refuse to take it seriously. Right? And it's gonna keep happening and people just gonna keep turning their head like the shit isn't real, right? Like, I didn't just come on here for 2 fucking hours, bleeding my fucking heart out. I didn't do that though, right? Then the next day somebody's dead. Alright. And ain't nobody getting no type of get back. Nobody's even knowing that type of time. Nobody is gonna do a motherfucking thing about it. Because they're not ready for that war. And I'm not talking about war on the streets. I'm talking about going to war with the industry. But they don't want to do that, right? We rather beef with each other on some bullshit, on some street shit. That's what we want to do, right? We want to keep warring and arguing amongst each other. Well, that's another thing I was supposed to put in the title. I just came on here yesterday talking about fuck the elders, right? Outside of 93. Then I'm looking at all the tabloids. I'm looking at DJ Akademiks. If you are a part of the culture, you know who that is. And everybody's getting on his back because he called the hip-hop veterans dusty. That they mismanaged their money. That they truly didn't do anything for the culture. And I'm like, so it's not just me. Clearly, the youth feel the same way I feel. Clearly, they feel the same way I feel. Like these fucking elders did nothing to help the youth and are not doing anything to help the youth. And we feel the same way, right? We feel the same way. It's not just me. That's why I'm even using these names. Y'all see that I don't even put names in the titles. But it's just getting to a point where if we don't take this shit seriously, it's not going to stop. And again, I'm not telling you to go to war with your neighbor. I'm not telling you to go to war with somebody who looks like you. I'm not even saying go to war with the person that's pulling the trigger. Because again, all of these people are just ignorant anyway. These are truly not the enemies. The person that actually is going to take your life or tries to take your life is truly not even the enemy. Because again, they don't get paid when you die. They don't reap the benefits of your death. They don't. The ones who reap the benefit is the record labels. These are the ones who's going to profit off of you dying. These are the people that have the life insurance policies on you. Not the person pulling the trigger. Not the person that's going to rob you. Not the person that's taking your life. They're going to get whatever they're going to get, and they're going to go on about their business. Other than that, they don't get no benefit except immediate gratification. Right? And that's why I call it hate. The only satisfaction that they get is fulfilling their own hatred. Right? Other than that, the person or the people that's going to get the long-term benefit are the record labels. They're going to continue to eat long after, years after, decades after you're gone. So it's not even months and days, it's decades. Once your legacy, because again, they're going to continue to put the music in movies, commercials. The music continues to play. The music doesn't stop. The spins doesn't stop. The streams don't stop. So long after you can say the public has forgot about you, those spins keep spinning because they always distribute the music. The music is always going to be used in all types of different projects that they have their hand in. Long after the public forgets your name. Because I guarantee it's going to be another person that dies, and another person that dies, and another person that dies. And we're not even going to be remembering these people's names. Because they want us to forget quickly. There's literally so many people dying, they want us to forget as quick as we remember them. Because a lot of people didn't even know about these people. They only know about them when they die. So just as fast as they come to the realization of who they was, they forget. And they get replaced by the next dead artist. But who tells you about necromancy? Necromancy as in communicating with the dead. Who's doing that type of work? Which is why I showed you the fucking image. You don't see that fucking coffin in that skull. Whatever, right? Whatever, right? Okay, yeah, let's pretend you didn't see that. But you're not gonna hear nobody else even mention that shit. They're gonna just keep talking about the industry. They're gonna keep talking about these artists. They're gonna keep talking about the fuck shit and do nothing about it. They're not gonna reach out and communicate and see what needs to be done. Right? Because they really don't give a fuck. It's just content to them. So once that phase is gone, once the name stops trending, they forget, they move on. They're not trying to convey no messages. They're not trying to see, okay, how do we help to initiate this person's spirit to the next plane so that they actually can rest in peace? Because that's all we're going to hear. All we're going to hear is a bunch of RIPs. As usual, right? But they're not going to do a motherfucking thing about it. Because the person is not resting in peace. Did I not just tell y'all this yesterday? The person is not resting in peace. They're not. You don't get to die violently and rest in peace. That's not how the game goes. But of course, we're a bunch of fucking Christians, so that's what we think. That's what we think. Because that's what we've been taught. And because we keep perpetuating this bullshit, we do nothing about it. All we can say is, RIP, I'm praying for you. Fuck a prayer. Fuck a RIP. When are you gonna pick up the motherfucking sword? When are you gonna pick up the motherfucking skull? When are you gonna sit your ass or even lay your ass in that coffin and get some communications? Right? When the fuck are you gonna lay yourself in the coffin and get the communications? If you claim to be spiritual, but most motherfuckers are not spiritual. That's why I'm like, fuck all of y'all. Outside of 93, because you're not spiritual. You just talk a bunch of bullshit, but you're not doing any work. You're not getting any visions, because you're not even connected with the spirits of the dead. That shit is a little bit too much, because people are still fucking Christians doing this Christianity shit that just destroys our people. We have been getting destroyed by Christianity since it's been on this fucking planet. Since Christianity has been on this planet, it's just been destroying our spiritual currency. To the point people get scared when they see the images that I show. Oh, that's a little bit too deep, right? So I have no more patience. I have no more patience for this shit, right? I'm tired of seeing these artists die. That's why I honestly do not label yourself an artist. Do not consider yourself an artist. You are not a fucking artist because you are the last person to get paid. You are the last person to get paid. Everybody comes to see you, but you get paid the less or the least. Let me give you an example, because motherfuckers like to brag about how much show money they get, right? Let's just say you get $50,000 a show because you're a hot artist, right? You get $50,000 a show. Let's just say 1,000 people come to see you, and every ticket is sold for $100. How much money is that? 1,000 people pay $100. How much money is that? I'll save you the math. That's $100,000. So they just made $100,000 off of tickets, and they give you 50K. But we know that it's always more than 1,000 people. It's several thousand people, sometimes tens of thousands of people. So every time they throw a show, they can make literally almost $500,000. They're making between $300,000 and $500,000, and you get 50K. And we're fucking happy about, oh shit, I get 50K. We fucking bragging about that shit like they didn't just make $500,000 off of your name. You get the smallest cut because you consider yourself an artist. You consider yourself a model. But you see, nobody respects the artists. Nobody respects the models. But we're fucking bragging about this shit. We're happy about this shit. Oh, I'm a starving artist. I'm an underground artist. Fuck being an artist. You're selling yourself short because nobody respects that shit. Again, look how much money they make off of these artists and give them just a small piece. They're making $500,000. Now, don't let you be a bigger artist like a Drake or a Lil Wayne or somebody like that. They could make several $1 million and only give you, what, 300,000, 500,000, while they didn't made 4, 5, 6 million off of you. And somehow this shit is cool, but they would make no money if you don't show up. They make no money if you don't show up. But they give you the smallest cut. They make no money if you don't show up, but you get the smallest cut. How is that okay? Why are we allowing this shit to happen? But we brag about this shit like we're supposed to be proud of that. What is that to be proud of? They make no money because they don't have the skills you have. They don't have the talent you have. All these so-called people working behind the scenes, they can't do what you do. But somehow you get the smallest cut, and they will get paid nothing if you don't show up. If you wasn't spending all that time in that studio, sacrificing all that time, perfecting and mastering your craft, if you wasn't spending all that time, they would get paid nothing. They can't put on a show themselves. Nobody gives a fuck about them. They give a fuck about you. But somehow we don't value ourselves enough. We get paid the least amount. Then we're such easy targets. Look at us just dropping. We're such easy targets. But we are the most important factor of the alchemy. We are the most important factor. You see, without us, everything stops. Without artists, there are no record labels. They can't make no money without artists. But they give you the smallest cut. They want to put you in debt. They want your masters. They want your publishing. They want to own your name. They want to own your image. Take everything from you. Because we want to label ourselves as artists. That's a curse. Stop cursing yourself. You are not a fucking artist. You are not a fucking model. Because look what they do to artists. Look what they do to models. If you're trying to be a part of the music industry, the recording industry, how do you not know about business? If you're trying to be a part of an industry full of business people, how are you dissatisfied with being an artist if you're trying to enter into the music industry filled with business people who are going to take advantage of you because they know business? They don't know artistry. They don't know how to put together these rhymes. They don't know how to mix and master. They don't know how to channel and pull words out of the air. They don't know aromancy. So yeah, they don't know that aromancy. So yeah, motherfuckers don't even know what I'm talking about. Don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? They gotta go Google search what that is. Don't even know what that shit is. But you are performing these arts. And you consider yourself an artist. Even fucking Hitler was an artist. Until he understood politics. So y'all don't know that though. Y'all don't know the story of Hitler when he was homeless. He was in these fucking streets, living off of his artistry. That's how he became aware of what was going on in his city, in his country. Because he was sleeping on the street, so he had his ears glued to the streets. He heard the people talking. He felt their pain. And he felt, okay, in order for me to do something about it, I need to put that paintbrush down. I need to put that pen down. I need to learn about politics. And that's when he started to rise to the top. I need to know about astrology. I need to learn about the occult. That's why he joined the Dual Society. Yeah, see, I know that history too. Because somehow all these people that rose to the top get involved with the occult. Because they understand that's what makes this world turn. It's those occult forces. It's not your fucking artistry. It's not your visuals, your sacred geometry, right? That we call ass and titties. That's sacred geometry. It's that occult shit. Because those laws never change. Those laws never change. That's why when you learn the occult, you learn the same thing that your ancestors learned. Nothing has changed. In the occult, everything changes in the physical world, but nothing changes when it comes to the occult. That's what the tarot shows us. That's what astrology shows us. That's what astronomy shows us. That's why we learn these things, because these are things that don't change. So when you learn these things, you are learning about how the world works, how the universe works. But we don't want to do that, right? We are afraid of the Illuminati. We are afraid of the Skull and Bones. We are afraid of Masons and Masonry. We are afraid of the gangbangers who have their foundation in Masonry. Oh, you didn't know? So gangs throwing up gang signs, Masonry. So this shit is fucking obvious, right? But we don't want nothing to do with that. We're afraid of these people. This shit puts fear in your heart. when this should be the exact thing that empowers you, because that's what empowers them. That's what gives them power. But it doesn't give us power because we're afraid of it. We don't want no parts of it. We don't understand the laws of the universe. We don't understand the laws of nature. Because according to the laws of nature, it's an eye for an eye. That's the laws of nature. It's an eye for an eye. Somebody do something to you, you have to do something back. But what do? We want to call the cops. We want to go through the justice system like they give a fuck about us. All they're going to do is collect the check while you're left to grieve. Going into a PnB rock. He was a Muslim. That's why I have his name in this title. He was a Muslim. Islam has been in my life my entire life. Even before I converted to Islam. I had members of my family who were a part of the Nation of Islam. Islam has been around me my entire life. I'm from Detroit. Detroit is the home of Islam, so it has been in my existence the entire time. So no, I'm not technically a Sunni Muslim anymore. I'm not necessarily a part of the Nation of Islam, but I am a Sufi, right? Because this is what Sufis do. This is what Sufis do. We decode the occult. We are a part, so we know. So we're not just doing it from the outside looking in. We're doing it from the inside, from the center point. So when I speak, I'm speaking from the center. I'm not speaking from somebody who's just looking, trying to figure out what's going on. No, I'm right here in the darkness. I'm right here in the neck roll. I am in the clip-off, right? How the fuck you think I talk about this shit? You think I talk about this shit because I'm looking at somebody else do this shit, or am I doing this shit? Am I waiting for somebody else to make content, or am I making the fucking content? How do I speak about this shit, then something happens? Like I didn't get the premonition, right? But again, I don't want accolades for this shit, because this is my lifestyle. I don't need to get a fucking hand clap over this shit. This is what I live, so I have to deal with the consequences of this as well. I have to deal with the good, bad, and ugly of it. So this is not just fun and games for me. I have to really put the fucking work in and deal with the consequences. It truly is an eye for an eye, right? So that's why this affects me personally. That's why I say the spirits come to me personally. This is not no outside. I'm not looking through a fucking window. The spirits are coming to me personally and communicating with me personally. Just like I communicate with you personally. This is a direct communication. This is direct. I am speaking directly to you. I'm not speaking from around the fucking way somewhere. I actually had to live in the streets at one time. That was my initiation. So again, I had the inside scoop. Like again, I literally was sleeping on concrete, on rocks and shit. I had to go through these phases. I had to be amongst the devils, the gods, the jinns, the angels, because they're all in the streets, right? And I know these energies personally because I had to navigate these energies. I had to absorb these energies. That's why I say I'm on jinn time. See, people think this shit is fun and games, right? Why do you think I say I'm on jinn time? What do you think? I already talked about this shit, right? Do I need to keep repeating myself, right? Jinns are created when people die violently. So another jinn was just created when LottaCash, Desto, she just lost her life in Houston. Another jinn has been created. And that jinn is vengeful. That jinn wants revenge. But who's gonna put that work in? Because you see, when we get to that level, see, people don't wanna get their hands dirty. But who the fuck got free with clean hands? You don't want blood on your hands though, right? See, we're all trying to keep our hands clean. How do you expect change to occur and your hands is clean? Or do you really expect to reap the benefits if you never picked up a sword? Physically or metaphorically. The sword is justice. So I'm not telling you to go out and cut nobody's head off. But if you don't stand for justice, whether it's street justice or divine justice, whatever form of justice, then do not expect to reap the benefits of it. Because everybody's afraid. You know why you're afraid? Because you're still a Christian. You just consider yourself spiritual, but you're still a fucking Christian. Unfortunately, I had to break this shit down to you, right? I'm going to be the only one saying that. See, let everybody else fool you to think that just because you know about chakras, just because you know about meditation, just because you got some Eastern knowledge that you're not a Christian, just because you can tap into the gods of Shiva or Kali, or you're still a fucking Christian. You still believe in a mystery God. You still a mystery God time. You're still expecting something else from somewhere else to do something for you. You don't know how to break down these fucking equations. How do I know? Because if you don't know this shit by heart, how? If you don't know the occult inside of you, how the fuck are you going to break down these equations? That's how I know. That's why I have to always remind people, if you don't know this shit by heart, you can't do anything like you think. That's why you're going to have to keep getting on your fucking knees and praying. Right? You're going to have to keep getting on your knees and praying for somebody else or something else to do something for you, because you don't know how to break down these equations yourself. Who knows the tarot by heart? Do not consider yourself an occultist if you don't know the tarot by heart. If you still feel the need to have to pick up a deck, you should only pick up a deck when you want to. It should not be mandatory. You should know every degree by heart. I've been telling you this for years, though. Because when you know about heart, you don't need a deck. You just start with the deck. The deck is for beginners. You're not carrying that tarot deck in your everyday life. You take that tarot deck when you go to work, when you visit family. You got the tarot deck with you. No, the fuck you don't. But you do when it's in your heart, though. You see the difference? When it's in your heart, it goes with you everywhere you go. It's just that simple. That's how I was able to survive the darkest times of my life. Because I carried this with me. Even if I didn't have a tarot deck, even if I didn't have crystals, even if I didn't have an altar. All that was within, because that's the point. It doesn't come alive for you until you know it by heart. You are the tree of life. You are the clip off when you know it in your heart. But if you got to look at a piece of paper that you don't take with you when you leave your home, it stays in your home. The occult stays in your home. So while you're trying to hide it from the world, it stays in your home. But everywhere I go, the occult goes with me. How do I know? Because I just look at how people react to me. People are scared to death of me. Not because I'm threatening, but my aura carries this shit with me. It's like people know who I am without knowing who I am, because this is a part of me. I can't hide this, right? I cannot hide this. It's all in my aura. And people feel like, yo, I'm staying away from this motherfucker. It's just, I'm like I'm a fucking gangster. But I don't have to pull no triggers. That's the difference, right? I don't have to do anything like that. Because I am that. I am deaf. I don't have to cause death. I am deaf. Right? I am the clip off. Just like you are if you have it in your heart. So every time you step outside of your door, you bring that shit with you. And you deal with those benefits and those consequences. Right? That's how you stay protected. Because ain't nobody else gonna protect you. Ain't no spirit gonna protect you. Ain't no God gonna protect you. Ain't no ancestor gonna protect you. How do I know this? Because these are the people getting fucked over. These are the people that's getting fucked over. I guarantee these people who's losing their lives believed in God. They believed in their ancestors. They believed in their elders. And that's the exact reason why they lost their life. Because when you pass all that shit, All you have is what you carry with you. Not in your pockets, but in your spirit and in your soul. That's all you truly have is what you carry with you. Just like when you die, the only thing you have is what you carry in your spirit and what you carry in your soul, what you have in your heart. That's all you truly have. That's why I don't do hip-hop. I am hip-hop. You're not a hip-hopper. You are hip-hop. You don't do hip-hop. You are hip-hop. You see the difference? It is a part of you. It is not an act. That's how everybody else believes. That's what everybody else thinks. But if you are really in the game, you know you are the one that's moving shit. How do you think I'm able to make music nobody else is making? Can't nobody else replicate what I do? Right? I'm showing forth new things because I am that, just like you are that. All I'm doing is showing you what you can do. But you see, this shit is not easy to do. This is a grand weight to carry. Right? You see, at times I have to be tormented. It's not all fun and games. When the spirits of the dead is coming to you, this shit ain't all the fun and games. I say again, this should be having me in tears. It be times I'm in tears. It's like, this shit is not easy, but you know why I deal with it? Because I am who I say I am. I have to deal with it. The fuck I'm gonna do? Cop out? The fuck I'm gonna do? Turn my back? I'm way too deep in this shit to be anything else. When I'm supposed to go back to the church, I'm supposed to go back to the masjid, I'm supposed to go back to the temple, back to the synagogue. That's the solution. Because that's what people do when they get scared. When they start to dibble and dabble in the occult and they get their fucking hand burned. You don't think I got my hand burned? You don't think I suffer by doing shit and shit blows up in your face? This shit happens to me too. But you must make mistakes in order to know what to do right. Right? You must make mistakes in order to know what to do right. But that's with anything, right? That's how you become a master. It ain't because you do everything right. It's because you had to do the wrong in order to figure out what is the right. You had to go through the tree of life before you master the tree of death. You have to master life before you master death. That's how you can resurrect from death. You resurrect from death because you understand life. That means you only pick up that sword when it's time to kill. You only pick up that sword when it's time to kill. You're not just doing shit randomly. You are the spirit of justice. So justice activates you. That's why I'm activated right now. I'm activated right now because my heart hurts because of all this death. All these spirits of the dead coming to me. I'm activated right now, so I must emit the energy. Not because I want to, like I don't have shit else to do. But I would not be doing justice if I don't speak about these things. If I don't show and prove how real this shit is. That's why I say, damn, I was just talking about this shit yesterday, then another artist dies and an empire artist dies. And I just spoke about this shit. And I was like, damn, I'm impelled to say, it wasn't okay, I need to make a video. No, you see how it was yesterday? I was like, fuck. Like I feel tormented. I had to speak because I felt inclined to speak. So clearly something was already in the making. So when I hear about this artist, that lost their life the next day, I'm like, I see why I was fucking tormented. But I just want to make content, right? I just want to get some clout. My subscribers are going down, just in case you didn't know. My subscribers go down. Every time I speak real, I lose people. Because clearly somebody's not going to agree with what I'm saying. Most people don't. That's why I say I really only do this shit for 93. Everybody else, they're going to come in, they go. They're not supposed to understand this shit. So I speak to the ones that do. Everybody else, oh well, you're not supposed to be here any fucking way. This is not for you. But for everybody else who can take the heat, who can take the pressure, I extend my energy. Meaning, who am I to tell you anything if I'm not living out my words? Who the fuck am I to tell you anything if I don't live this shit every day? Who the fuck am I to tell you anything? Who am I to speak to the youth if I'm a part of the problem? You see, I don't tell the youth, oh, you need to put the guns down. Right? Do I tell the youth, okay, you need to soften up, or y'all need to get smarter? Or am I telling the boys, oh, y'all need to pull y'all pants up? Instead, I give the youth game. I don't give a fuck whether your shorts are up, down, you have no pants. I can care fucking less. What I'm gonna do is give you the game so that you stay alive, so that you can preserve your life. That's the only thing I care about. I don't give a fuck what you do in between the time. It is do what thou wilt after all. It is do what thou wilt, right? So I can care less about what a motherfucker is doing. As long as you're not violating nobody else's free will, it shouldn't fucking matter to anybody. Do what thou wilt don't mean you can just do what you want. You can do what you want as long as you are not infringing on no one else's free will. As long as you're not infringing on nobody else's free will, who gives a fuck? I know I don't. I'm not concerned about what somebody is doing in their bedroom when they leave the house, how they choose to raise their family. That's not my concern. Just do what you like. Why do I give a fuck? What I do give a fuck about is you preserving your life. Why everybody else is plotting on your death. So while everybody else is plotting on your death, trying to egg on the bullshit, I'm here to preserve your life. If you listen to me, you will live long. It's just that simple. Why do you think I'm still here? When I was here before, right? I was here before your favorite creator. And I will be here after. It's just that fucking simple, right? I've been doing this shit since I was a teenager. I was a teenager on YouTube. I didn't come on YouTube as an adult. I didn't come on YouTube when this shit was cool and popping. Oh, now that you can make money, now that you can monetize. No, I was on YouTube when there was no checks. When all you had to do was put your creativity out here. There was no checks. There was no money. I was still a fucking child. 2007. Before people were spiritual. Before 2012. Before it was cool to be spiritual. That's the difference between me and everybody else. No, don't tell me my motherfucker was spiritual in 2007. Get the fuck out of here. No, they wasn't. No, they wasn't. This shit didn't get popping until 2012. And probably like 2011, 2010. Right? So I'm talking about years before that. I'm talking about I had to deal with the consequences. What do I mean by that? Meaning I was pulling out tarot decks and people were still afraid. People didn't even want me around them. I had to deal with the consequences. I'm just learning the tarot. People think I'm fucking with the devil. People were calling me a devil worshiper before they even knew what the fuck that shit meant. I had to deal with that. As a young adult, just imagine being a young adult being called a devil worshiper. Because you're trying to learn about yourself. And what the tarot has to do with astrology and all that. You're just doing your due diligence. The same thing everybody else is doing now, but it's cool now. Nobody gives a fuck now. Ain't nobody getting freaked out about no goddamn tarot cards and crystals right now. I had to deal with that. I had to deal with putting crystals in water, trying to charge up water with crystals and getting my shit poured out because people were getting spooked. That's what I had to deal with. Motherfuckers looking at me crazy. I was the one that had to get put out because I chose this occult. Right? I had to make a decision. Either you're going to be religious or you're going to take that devil shit and you got to go into these streets. I had to, right? Because it wasn't cool at that time. That's the point I make. It wasn't cool at that time. So you know what I chose? What do you think I chose? I chose the streets over comfortability. Right? That's why this shit is deep as fuck to me. That's why, again, this shit don't have nothing to do with YouTube for me. This is all before YouTube. This is before a YouTube channel. That's the point I'm making. So I had to make a decision before YouTube. When I was a young adult. Oh, I see you fucking with this tarot. You got to get up out of here. You cannot be here. So I left. And I went out to the streets with nowhere to go. Nowhere to rest my head. I still made that decision. You're like, you know what? I guess I just got to be in the fucking streets then. Because I'm about to learn this tarot. I don't give a fuck what nobody think. But how many people are willing to make that decision? Not many. But my heart was inclined to do so, so I did it. So I had to be uncomfortable for a very long time. Learning the occult in real time. That's why I was able to learn it real quick, because I'm in these streets. I gotta survive. I don't have no help. I don't have nobody to call. I had to figure shit out in real time and see the results and consequences in real time before YouTube, before anybody gave a fuck. So that's why when I came on this bitch, I was already ready to go. Because I'm like, who the fuck can stop me at this point? How can I be stopped? I didn't already survive the streets. What the fuck? This shit is easy. How do you think I get on here and I can just speak off the top of the dome? I don't need no fucking notes. I don't. This shit was already in motion. Before I even thought to make a YouTube channel, before I gave a fuck about making this shit, it was already in motion. So that's why my energy is different, right? That's why I have a different aura. That's why I seem a little older than I am. Because you see, this shit been planned out for a very long time. That's why I say YouTube is just an extension of what was already going on. YouTube didn't give me no fucking rank. I got my spiritual rank. Again, I documented this shit. You can go back to the YouTube videos and you can see this shit happen in real time. I documented this shit. But who else did that? That's all I gotta say. Who else documented their journey? Or did they come on this bitch already who they are? Right? Did I not show y'all these fucking streets in real time? I didn't do that. Okay, we gonna pretend like I didn't do that shit. Right? We gonna pretend like I didn't do it. We gonna pretend like I didn't take you to the streets of LA all the way to the streets of New York. We gonna pretend like I didn't do that, right? Let's pretend, right? Let's pretend I just came up on here like I already know everything, like y'all didn't see me grow in real time. Because if you was there, then you know, right? Some of you were there. So some of you already know what the deal is. A lot of people are new though. A lot of people don't know. But if you don't know, it's documented, so the evidence is there. So I don't have to make none of this shit up. You can literally go back in the videos and you can see it, right? You can see me in New York. You can see me in LA. So that means I didn't hit all these borders. Who else is doing that? Talking some occult shit. I'm not just saying I'm just in here. I'm just going here visiting. No, I'm speaking this same shit. I'm speaking that occult shit. I told you about the occult origins of New York, like I told you about the occult origins of LA. I did that. So I was on the same time. I didn't just go there just chilling, just enjoying. I'm in LA enjoying myself. Oh, I'm in New York enjoying. No, I'm revealing to you the history that not even you know. All right? So all I'm saying is, who else did that? Who considered themselves a part of the occult? Who else was documenting their journey in real time? Or did they just come on this bitch like they already got all the answers? Who else was speaking to you in real time while they're decoding the equations in real time? Showing you what the deal is. Who else told you about the spirit of your city? Who else told you every spirit or every city has a spirit? I didn't just know that. That's something that came to me because I was doing the experiments in real time. and revealing it to you in real time. I didn't already have the answers. I'm revealing the answers to you as I discover them. As I receive the revelations, I'm sharing it with you. Something you can't do unless you're there in real time. If you're not receiving, that means I'm working with the spirits in real time. And they are revealing these things to me, and I'm revealing these things to you in real time. Not something that I just learned in a fucking book. When the last time I told y'all about a book? Oh, you need to read this, you need to read that. I don't tell y'all to read no fucking books. I'm not a scholar. I'm someone who learned in real time. The only thing that I mastered was the occult, which is the only thing I tell you. Master the occult. Just that simple. The only thing I tell you to do is master the occult. Fuck a book. Because if you are a master of the occult, there's no book that can tell you what you don't already know. What the fuck is a book going to tell you when you can reveal secrets? You can gain secrets in real time. And I showed you that that's possible because I did it in real time and I showed it. So I'm not speaking about nothing I didn't show and prove in real time. And I continue to do it. I never stopped. All I'm saying is who else is doing this shit? So if I was doing this shit before it was popping, before it was okay to do it, before it was acceptable, before people were even ready to receive it, and you see I'm still here. I was literally living in the streets. Why didn't I get shot? Right? Why did something bad happen to me? The worst thing that happened to me was that somebody stole some things from me, material stuff that I got back. That's the worst thing. Somebody took something from me, but I was never harmed. You never saw me come on here with scars on my face, or somebody done did something to me, somebody done beat me up and put their hands on me, and I literally was sleeping in the streets. Ain't nobody lift a finger towards me. While everybody else was in the comfort of their own home. I'm in danger zone. In danger every night, every day. But somehow, I had the respect of the streets. So the streets didn't ever think to touch me. Didn't think to harm me. Like, oh, he's a real deal. Right? All I'm saying is who else showed you that? That's all I'm saying. And I never get an answer either. I never get an answer. Who else showed you in real time that they are who they say they are? Or did they come on here talking they shit like they didn't already been through their trials and tribulations? They already went through their rites of passage. Or they already was the masters? Or did I not grow into this shit? Did I not come on here and tell you who I was? Prince Raziel? Did I not come on here speaking about I am the prince? That means I am going through initiations. I didn't come on here saying I'm the king of any fucking thing. That I'm a master of anything. No, I came on here humbly as a prince. I'm like, I'm the prince. That means I still got stages to go through. And I went through those stages in real time. And I documented those stages because I was the prince. I wasn't just a fucking king. Right? I didn't come on here as Asha Renew. That was a title that I gained because I was going through shit in real time. So that name came to me like, this is your name now. This was your name then, this is your name now. Right? Then the name reflects who I am. If I call myself Asha Renew, Asha is the occult, the invisible, the intangible. Renew is the tangible, the formation. The intangible, tangible. But didn't I tell you all about choosing a magical name? I told you that too. And you need to reflect your magical name. You need to manifest those attributes of your magical name. Because I was learning these things in real time. Just like the spirits come to me in real time. The jinns come to me in real time. I'm not talking about no shit that happened 10 years ago. I'm talking about some shit that just happened yesterday. I was just in my fucking feelings yesterday because I'm getting tormented by spirit just yesterday. These motherfuckers will not leave me alone. That's how I know this. Our spirits, our people that's dying off are not resting in peace because they are coming to me, letting me know that they are confused. They are wrathful. They are vengeful. They're looking for street justice, divine justice. Because the only people that can perform that is us. The only people that can help our so-called ancestors. Give me 1 second here.
Hi, Uncle.
What's going on, man? Give me 1 second. Let me talk to the family. All right. See? Real time. See, real time. Family coming in, right? Family coming in. Shit is happening in real time, I'm telling y'all. So, that's all that I had to say, right? All this shit is current, happening in real time. These spirits, these entities are coming to me as I show they come to you if you have opened yourself up to them. If you're not fucking afraid of death, and a lot of people are, that's their greatest fear. Their greatest fear is death. So how would they ever open themselves up to the clip off? How would they ever open themselves up to spirits of the dead? How would they ever become a necromancer? But these are the forbidden arts. See, we still have trauma in our DNA. Because remember, these witches were the ones that were getting hung. They were being killed off. And we still have this shit in our DNA. We're still having, this is the people that got killed. They lost their lives being occultists. Not necessarily because they were doing some fucked up shit, because they were doing the right shit. They didn't hang witches because the witches were just fucking shit up. The witches was fucking shit up because the fucking politicians were corrupt. And motherfuckers was popping up dead. Because people were unwilling to pick up a gun and kill off shit. So the witches had to come in and put that fucking juju down. Put that witchcraft down. Put that poison down. And get motherfuckers up out of here. That's why they started killing shit. They tried to destroy our culture. The ones who were willing, who were fearless. Damn, these motherfuckers are corrupt. We need to fuck them up. Fuck them off. Get them the fuck up out of here. Because all they're doing is destroying us. That's why I say, while we're too busy warring with each other, we're not going up against the system. Because you see, we're afraid. But the witches wasn't. I got more respect for witches than the current spiritual people. People that consider themselves, they ain't doing a fucking thing. They're not doing anything. They're not doing no real work at all. They're not. That's why they consider themselves spiritual. That's a safe word. These motherfucking modern day witches do not compare to witches of the old, witches of the ancient. That was taking motherfuckers out of here that needed, that deserved to be out of here. Because all they do is rape and pillage the people. We just talk about it because we're just some fucking conspiracy theorists, but we're not doing anything. We're going to watch all the content. We're going to watch all these numbers line up, and we're going to see like, damn, these people are being killed by these higher ups. But they just keep doing it because ain't nobody stepping up and taking these motherfuckers out. Right? So that's why it keeps happening to us, because nobody's getting no get back. Do you really think they would keep doing this shit to us if we were getting some get back? Do you really think they would keep doing that? Oh yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Go, Uncle. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, man. I'll see you later, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We ain't waiting for that, though, right? We ain't trying to get no get back, are we? We ain't trying to get no get back, are we? Because that's the only thing that's going to make them stop. That's the only thing that's going to make them stop. Ain't nothing else going to make them stop. Except if motherfuckers start turning up dead and we don't have no answer. Damn, these motherfuckers just turn up dead. I'm going too far though, right? It's a little bit too far. It's a little bit too demonic. That's a little bit too satanic. That's a little bit too Luciferian for you, right? That's too Illuminati for you, right? That's too skull and bones for you. But they're gonna keep doing it to you though. They're gonna keep offing people off that look like you and that look like me. While we're at war with each other like we're really the real enemies, like your neighbor actually has some real power over you. That's what we're going to keep doing. We're going to keep fighting the small battles and completely avoiding the people that's setting up these plays, the people that are playing chess. We're still playing checkers. We really think the person that looks like us is a true enemy. Right? That's why we keep getting fucked over and they don't get no karma from it. You know why they keep doing it? Because they don't get karma from it. Because the people that distribute the karma is supposed to be us. We're supposed to be dishing out karma. But we don't. We dish out karma on each other. We're not dishing out karma to the powers that be. Why do you think they're called the powers that be? Because they dish out karma. You sign this contract like a fool. We have every right to take your life because you didn't read the contract. You didn't read the fine print. You don't know that we got a life insurance policy on you. We're going to take everything that you built. Because you don't want to fucking read. When the shit do happen to you, it ain't no get back. So they're going to keep doing it. And we're going to continue to be victims. Right? Because we're getting Christian shit. We're going to continue to turn the other cheek. Because we're still Christians. That's the point I'm making. We're still fucking Christians. Right? That's why we're afraid to make those type of moves. Those witches wasn't fucking Christians. Those witches was not Christians. Those witches was putting in that real work. That's why witchcraft was banned all the way up to 1950. You know what people are doing now? Wicca. Wicca became popping in 1950 because the laws were overturned to prosecute witches in 1950. It's just that recent. No, we don't know that shit though. We don't know our fucking history. Wicca came to be because it was safe to practice witchcraft because the laws had changed. It didn't just pop up randomly. soon as it was okay to practice witchcraft, they did. And they started Wicca. But look at Wicca now. It's like feminine now. They're white witches, not white as in skin color, white as in positive as healing. They want to be all about the healing, the Reiki. These are considered white witches. They're just all about the healing, the white magic, right? So that's what I mean by white. They're just all into this white magic shit. They're all about the triple goddess, right? They're all about goddesses. These are feminists. They don't give a fuck about you. If you're a male, if you're a man, these are feminists. How do I know? Because they removed the horn god. Go back to Wicca, the original Wicca. You had the triple goddess, but you also had the horn god. You don't even hear about the horn god no more. You don't even hear about him. They, fuck this motherfucker. Fuck that nigga. That's what they said. They removed the masculine. They removed the divine masculine. And they kept the divine feminine. So that's why all these motherfucking bitches, because that's what they are. Because they removed the divine masculine, and we wonder why we're fucked up. Why the men want to be feminine. Because there's no horn god. But that was the original manifestation. But we don't know nothing about this, right? Why am I the only one that know the fucking history? Like, this shit is just cool. That's just not cool. That's why we're too soft. That's the point I'm making. We're too soft. We don't know the history. We're letting them dictate the flow. That's why we're not on our fucking demon time. That's why we're not on our jinn time, because that's that horn god. You gotta tap into that horn god that nobody wants to fucking deal with. The so-called Baphomet. Oh, that's too much though, right? Right? I'm lying though, right? Like you can't Wikipedia this shit on your own, right? It's too fucking much to do the fucking research. I gotta make this shit up, right? So that's why I have no patience for these people. I have no patience. I'm like, oh, so we're supposed to accept this soft ass shit? And this is not even the original manifestation. So they was able to whitewash it, and we don't care. We think it's cool to be working with these little crystals and shit. Like we're doing something. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? And we wonder why we continue to get fucked over. It's our fault. It's not their fault. It's our fault. Because we don't know the history. And we refuse to tap into the darker forces. But